The other one I wanted to talk about was activated charcoal. So I want to learn more about how you use it in your practice and the effects you've seen, how long it takes to work.
Yep. So first, let me tell people a little bit about activated charcoal first, right? Just a tiny bit of education about it. So charcoal, right, is wood that has been heated, right? So it's the normal like black stuff that's left after a fire. Activated charcoal is you take that and you put it in an environment that has no oxygen, and you heat it up to about 600 or 700 degrees. That's what activates it. When it activates it, what it really does is create these massive number of little pores and channels in the charcoal. And then where activated charcoal is most commonly used medically is poisoning. So if your kid got into the medicine cabinet and took a whole bottle of one of your prescription drugs, and you rush them to the ER, the first thing they're going to do is pump a bunch of activated charcoal into their stomach, because activated charcoal will, all those little pores and crevices will absorb almost any any small enough chemical or toxin, right? And so where I first got interested in this, and I'll also tell you most of the things that I'm interested in that I'm talking about are things, I'd say half of them are things that a patient told me, and like, oh, I read this and started doing it. And then I'm always like, man, okay, I wonder. And then I educate myself about it and see why. Activated charcoal is one of these things that a patient told me about. So, right, we know for certain that the reason that the bacteria in your intestines matter has nothing to do with the bacteria themselves. It has to do with the substances that the bacteria are releasing. So they may be releasing beneficial substances both into your intestines and that get into your bloodstream. They may be releasing harmful substances and toxins. The activated charcoal is whatever they're releasing, it's going to absorb it and prevent it from getting into your blood. If you had a really healthy intestinal microbiome, anything that the bacteria are producing and releasing, the activated charcoal is going to bind to it, and it's going to stick to the activated charcoal, so it's not going to have its effect. So if you've got a bad microbiome, the activated charcoal will be good for you. If you've got a good microbiome, it could be bad for you because it's going to be preventing the good stuff from getting in. So kind of my working assumption is, if you've got pretty good eczema, if anything, your microbiome is probably out of balance and not good for you. And so the activated charcoal is going to help. So I have people start taking the activated charcoal. I tell them, give it a month and see, do you think it made a difference? Do you think you feel better? Do you think your skin's getting better? Your immune system's getting less activated and angry. The only real thing that I have to warn people about with activated charcoal, if you take it before or with your prescription medications, it can bind to the prescription medications so they don't get into your body. And so you got to be careful. You can't just take it, your meds.
You notice that people actually get better after taking it?
Yes, but I'm not in any way convinced whether it is the activated charcoal or it is a placebo effect. Right? So that's the problem with everything with eczema, is that if you believe it's going to help, and right, if your dermatologist is like, oh my God, activated charcoal, it's natural, it's totally safe, and it's so effective, you can't take it with your prescription drugs because it'll neutralize them because it's so active and it's going to change your life and be wonderful. You really are going to believe it's going to make you feel better, and then you might just feel better because you believe. So I don't know if it's placebo or the activated charcoal. I don't really care.
No studies yet, right?
Right. As long as if you feel better, I'm happy.
Awesome.